win their second straight Stanley Cup.
What's good, everybody? Let's talk some Tampa sports. We are now at the All-Star break of the NHL season, or excuse me, the Nations Faceoff Break. Not quite the same ring to it, but hey, it is what it is. And the Lightning have some good representation in it. I will obviously be rooting most for Jake Guentzel and Team USA, but I mean, Hedman being the captain of Team Sweden, kind of hard not to root for that. And then Canada, Cirelli, Point, Hagel, Cooper, Breezewell. I mean, there's Lightning representation all over Team Canada. But I will be rooting for Team USA first and foremost. Come on now. In this video, we're going to be talking about where the Lightning currently stand going into this break. Hot. They're hot. 4-game win streak. We'll get into that. But I mean, the last update video I made was kind of about the Lightning's struggles in this January stretch of games where the schedule is just brutal. You talk about 16 games in 29 days, back-to-backs on the road. It was not great circumstances for the Lightning. Playoff team here, playoff team there. Even when they weren't playing a team that was in a current playoff spot, that team was just really hot at that time when the Lightning ran into them. It wasn't a fun month. But you would have thought going on social media that the sky was falling, the season was going to be over, and here we are. 4-game win streak, back in a playoff spot for the Atlantic Division. So overall, the video was like an alright, guys, we're going to figure this out. It's just a tough stretch, I promise, and it's kind of worked out in that way. Was it a low point? Yes. Was the sky falling? Please. Lightning had 4 games last week, 2 at home, 2 on the road, and those 2 home games both against the team that they were right behind in the standings in the Ottawa Senators. And boy, were those games massive. Both of them being at home, taking care of business was a must, and that's exactly what they did. Something you'll notice about all 4 of these games is that the Lightning were going into the third period with the lead, and all season long they have been shut down, lethal in the third period with a lead, not allowing teams to get back in it. Defensively, being sound, not giving away anything stupid. Vasilevsky doing what he does in the net. He's looking pretty good, by the way. And then those guys that offensively we expect to put pressure on the team with their forechecking, Hagel, Cirelli, etc., they're doing their job too. That's a huge deal for this Lightning team. It's not a just coincidence at this point. It's a trend. So in this game, they technically didn't go into the third period with the lead, but Hagel scores less than 2 minutes in, and then it's pretty much shut down from there. McDonough gets himself an empty netter. Little scare there with Batherson scoring to make it 3-4, but Lightning win, and they got that first W at home. The second game was much more comfortable. Vasilevsky was stellar. 27 saves on 28 shots and .964 save percentage. That's exactly what you want to see. Guentzel had himself a power play goal, 27 on the year. Hagel continued to be hot, and then going into the third period with the lead, the Lightning go Braden Point scores, Chernak has an empty netter, and then Chaffee scores an actual goal, not an empty netter. So really nice for him, probably good for the feels there for Mr. Chaffee. Exactly what you wanted the Lightning to see. After January, you get 2 major games at home, and then a week full, 4 games, all divisional opponents. You start off like that. Okay, boys, let's go on the road, keep this momentum going. Once again, exactly what they did. Saturday, nationally televised game against the Detroit Red Wings. This one was a little bit different of a story. I definitely can say that confidently. When you talk about throughout January and the beginning of February, a lot of the Lightning games, they were honestly playing really well and dominating, getting scoring chances, getting shots on net. You look at a lot of those losses in January, the Lightning, I mean, had more scoring chances. And this game, quite the opposite. 37 shots on goal for Detroit, 18 for the Lightning. I mean, they came out hot. I'll give them that. The score's 4-2 after the first period. But the pressure the Red Wings put on the Lightning in that second period, you could feel it. You could feel it for sure, and it was a little bit of a scare there at Little Caesars Arena. But then third period, Dylan Duke, first game in the NHL, a Michigan guy, playing in Detroit, obviously, big deal, family there, brother there, who had a game later on that day, ended up scoring at Little Caesars Arena. So both the Duke brothers, what a story that is, scoring at Little Caesars Arena in the same day. gets the Lightning a huge goal to make it 5-3, and they were able to close it out from there. Once again, going into third period with the lead, closing it out, despite the pressure that the Red Wings put on the Lightning in the second period. Third period came around, shut down. Let's move on. Sunday, similar story against Montreal. 35 shots for the Canadiens, 21 for the Lightning, so they dominate the shots and scoring chances, but a fast start by the Lightning, 2 goals in the first 10 minutes, and they're able to just pretty much stay in control of the game the entire way. Yes, Gallagher scores a goal, but the Boltons are back with 2 more in the second period. Dvorak scores a goal, Gallagher scores again. 4-3 is the closest it gets, but Sorelli is able to close it out with an empty netter with his 20th on the year. And that's it, 4 for 4, all divisional opponents. Let's see where the Lightning stand in the standings. And I mean, when you play the team that's ahead of you twice, you'd expect that you jump them when you beat them twice, and that is, of course, what happens. So here's the division standings. Florida Panthers on top, 71 points, 57 games played, still taking note of those games in hand. Maple Leafs and the Lightning now have the same amount of games played. So there's that. Only 2 points ahead, though. Not very wide of a margin there. 68 points for the Maple Leafs, 66 for the Lightning. And then there's the Senators, who once again started the week above the Lightning. They are now 4 points behind the Lightning. And the Lightning have a game in hand as well. So, big deal there. Let's go to the wild card. It's all Atlantic in the wild card. Columbus is slightly behind, but Red Wings, another team that the Lightning played as well. It was a massive week with these divisional opponents. It really was, and 4 for 4. I could not be happier going into this break and being able to enjoy this Four Nations Faceoff. Can't say I ever got too excited for the All-Star game, but Four Nations Faceoff, they say best on best. It's not technically best on best when there's only 4 countries. You're leaving out Kucherovs of the world and Vasilevskis of the world, but it's as close as we've been in a while. That's for sure. Another thing to make note of, this is very different from the All-Star break in terms of how long the break is. All-Star break was only 1 week. There's only 1 game being played where players don't really try. Let's be honest. Going into this, it's a 2-week break where players are going to be trying. There's pride in playing for your country, and it's going to be a lot more competitive, and it's not just 1 game, it's a whole tournament. So, coming out of that, players that are playing in this tournament, going from either Team Canada, Sweden, Finland, or USA, back to their NHL team, what is their energy level like? What is their play style like? I've heard a lot of players say going from country back to club, they feel a lot better because they got to spend so much time, really playing hockey, not like an all-star game, really playing hockey with some of the best players in the world, learning some things, getting different tendencies down, and just, getting that energy up, the motivation of playing for a Team USA or a Team Canada. There's that. Or will they be at a disadvantage because everyone else is resting for 2 weeks? Flip it around. Are the players that are resting for 2 weeks going to be at a disadvantage because they're going to be cold and not, playing games the same way that these guys are? It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, you can just go back and forth about how it could shape out all day, but it will happen within these next 2 weeks, and we will see how players come out of it. That's going to be it for me, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave your comments down below, your thoughts on the Four Nations Face-Off and where the Lightning stand going into that. Once again, love how last week went, 1000%. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Go Bolts, and y'all have a blessed one.
Hey, hey, Tampa Bay.